Hi everyone, it's Jen here and welcome to Jen's Wild About Art. So today I'm doing a little watercolour painting of a tabby cat and she's laying on her side on her cushion. I wanted to do a slightly different drawing, like not just a cat sitting, so I found this reference picture on Unsplash, which is a royalty-free reference site, and it was a little cat just laying on its cushion, so I thought it'd be a really fun challenge to try and draw a cat this way. So I start with the outline and I draw that in with my mechanical pencil and I adjust it as I go until I'm happy with the position and with the proportions and everything else. So also I'd like to mention I also have a Twitch channel which I'll have listed below where I live stream art 5 days a week. So the full 3-hour tutorial on how I painted this cat is on there, and also I have a range of other videos, landscapes, animal art, all kinds of things. I'd love it if you'd pop over and have a follow over there. I'll have the details linked below. So back to this drawing. So as you can see, I'm adjusting things as I go, and I'm now just drawing in the eyes and popping in a few extra details. And when I finish the drawing and I'm happy with all the proportions, I'll go in with watercolour. So now I go in with watercolour and I start off with yellow in the eyes. The eyes are my absolute favourite part to paint first. And then I add a little bit of transparent sienna just to the shadow parts at the tops of the eyes. And I just blend that out a little bit so it doesn't look quite such a harsh line, so it just softens those edges. And then I add a bit of transparent sienna and a bit of burnt umber to the pupil, and then I mix up burnt umber cobalt blue to make a dark grey to go over the top of that on the pupil, and then I darken up around the edges of the eyes, and those little eyes come to life. And I use a bit of Payne's grey and a bit of burnt umber around the edges of the eyes, and I just darken that up, and that's the eyes just about done. So now I go on to the nose with burnt umber cobalt blue mix, which makes a nice dark grey, and then I take that all around the little cat's stripes, just very watery mix, so more water than pigment, and I take that around and just mark out all the grey areas on the cat. Now I mix up a purple and I add that to the cushion underneath the cat and behind the cat, and I start off with the first layer quite light and I build up darker as I go, adding the darkest into the shadow areas underneath the cat. Now I start to add the burnt umber cobalt blue mix, but slightly thicker consistency of mix so that it's darker on the paper, and I start to go over all of the details again, and I start to build up layers on the patterns on the cat, and I also add in some transparent sienna into the golden parts of her fur and around her nose, and I build that up across the cat's whole body with this transparent sienna and also the burnt umber cobalt blue grey mix. And now I'm going in with an even darker mix of the transparent sienna, and I've added a touch of burnt umber to that just to brown it off a little bit, and then I add that all around everywhere that I've added the transparent sienna on the cat, and I keep on building up layers, slightly darker every layer as I go. And you can see now I'm adding a stronger grey mix onto the grey areas of the cat, and I build it up layer upon layer as I go until I get the depth of colour that I want to achieve. I'm starting to work in the darkest shadows here, so around her neck, under her chin, and onto the underside of her body that's resting into the cushion. I make a slightly bluier mix of that burnt umber cobalt blue mix, so it's a bit more of a blue tone to it, and then I darken that up and build up a few layers, soften those edges as well so I don't end up with any harsh lines, and you can see that's created a nice shadow underneath. Then I go back in with the transparent sienna and start to get the patterns onto the body of the cat, and I start to add in a bit of fur detail as well all around the cat and build up the layers again, and yeah, build that up across the whole body. So I'm going in now, and I am just starting to add in almost pure transparent sienna, and I tape that around between her markings and just add a real richness to the colour in her coat. And I tape that around her body, and then I start to work that back into her face as well. And yeah, it's just a beautiful colour, the transparent sienna. And then I start to add the details everywhere, around her body, around her face, and add a little bit of fur texture, and then the details to her nostrils and her mouth. And I just work around back and forth around the cat until I'm happy with the details. So I'm on to the very final fur textures now, and we're just about done. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'd love it if you click like and subscribe and click on the bell icon. That way you'll receive notifications when I release another video. I try to release a video at least once a week, and as I said, I also have a Twitch channel where I live stream art 5 days a week, and you can actually come along and chat to me while I work. So I'll have all the links below. I'd love it if you join me over there as well and give a follow. So thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day, and I will see you all next video. Okie doke. Bye.